This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLesio and Kenny Bergamy.
All right, Ray DeLesio holding down the fort this week while Kenny B takes care of some Farm Bureau business. Of course, you and I have a lot of business of our own to discuss. Check it out. Jekyll Island once again playing host to Georgia's young farmers. Why this year's conference put more emphasis on getting involved, and the future ag leader who took home the top prize at the discussion meet. Wish I had some good news about the cost of farming. You'll hear from one producer on what will happen if those skyrocketing fuel prices don't come down. And then later, another first for the Farm Monitor as we check in on the Georgia food industry at their annual conference in Florida. Like the ag sector, they're also having to crunch the numbers. We'll tell you about the economic issues they're dealing with and why their relationship with farmers is so vital. These stories and so much more right now on the Farm Monitor. Jekyll Island and the GFB Young Farmers and Ranchers Leadership Conference. Those who attend the yearly gathering enjoy network opportunities, educational sessions, and yes, a little fun in the sun. Damon Jones reports on why it continues to be the organization's most important event.
85 years and growing. That was the theme for this year's GFB Young Farmer and Ranchers Leadership Conference, where hundreds of future ag leaders along with their families got a chance to grow their network by meeting and greeting with people of similar interests.
We hope by doing this every year that we get new people coming and people coming back. And we just hope they enjoy what they do, and the networking that they get to do with other young farmers from all over the state is very important, especially when issues arise that they may not know what to do on their operation. They have met people that they can call.
With very few opportunities to step away from their farm, this event also gave these producers a chance to reunite with some close friends they haven't seen in quite some time.
I enjoy getting to come out and hang out with my friends. I've been coming to this conference before I got put on the board for probably 10 years, and I've met people from all over the state. So that's really the thing that I enjoy the most, is just coming out here and hanging out with my buddies, and just sit and talk to my buddies that I may not have seen. It's some of my buddies that are here today I haven't seen for a year.
There was more than just fun to be had here at Jekyll Island, as there was also a number of breakout sessions with topics ranging from advocacy to marketing. It's that type of valuable take-home information that will be beneficial to both the young farmers and the industry as a whole here in Georgia.
Really, as farmers, we face the same kind of problems that everybody else does. So one of the things that we've been trying to do is figure out how to get with our local legislators and lobbyists and different people that are making decisions on a governmental level to help us, not only help ourselves, but to help the rest of our communities.
We have to educate those people on agriculture issues. You know, agriculture is the biggest industry in the state, and the people that are the producers of those agricultural products are our people, and they have got to be involved to educate our elected people that make decisions on what affects what they do for a living every day.
One of the best ways to do that is becoming more involved with the organization, as it opens several pathways to making change. And that was the main focus in a number of this year's breakout sessions.
We want them to get involved with Farm Bureau. We want them to get elected to Farm Bureau positions. And, we just want them to understand that how important they are to the future of this organization.
As always, one of the highlights of the event is recognizing the Young Farmer Discussion Meet, Excellence in Ag, and Achievement Award winners. And this year, it was Lee County's Willie Sizemore taking home the Discussion Meet crown. Brian Fleming of Hart County was named the winner of the Excellence in Ag Award, while Colt and Leanna Hart of Franklin County was presented the Young Farmer Achievement Award. It was the culmination of an event designed to inspire producers in spite of some of the struggles the past year has thrown at them.
It's okay that we're farmers. Our job as farmers is to feed the world. I eat the same things that I'm growing to sell to somebody else to eat. So hopefully people coming and hanging out with us this week were able to, to just be able to be okay that they're a farmer. They can go back home and be proud that they're a farmer.
Reporting from Glenn County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
The fuel prices crisis, it does not discriminate, and that's especially true for the ag industry. John Holcomb spoke to one producer who says it's something that's not only hurting farmers, but pretty much everyone who does business with farmers.
Just like any other American needs to have fuel in their tank to head into the office, farmers and producers must have fuel to head into their fields. And just like any other American, farmers are certainly feeling the effects of record high fuel prices. One producer that certainly has is Brad Marks, a farmer himself who also operates a hay cutting and baling service with his son in East Georgia. According to Marks, the dramatic increases in the price of fuel has severely impacted their bottom line, as they use several hundred gallons of fuel each week to produce high-quality hay.
Last year, fuel prices had gone up from where we not originally, but where they were in 2020. We were like $1.79, $1.80, up and down from there. Last year we were up close to $3. We're pushing $5 now, so that's $2 a gallon. Just in the tractors alone, when we're in the hay fields, if we got everything running, we'll burn between 100 to 150 gallons of fuel a day. And when you go up almost $3 a gallon, on 100 gallons, that's $300 a day. And if we're running 5 days a week, 6 days a week, it don't take long. You'll drain a pocketbook in a hurry.
However, the cost of fuel isn't the only thing they have to worry about, as the price of fuel drives up the cost of everything else, which for the Markses means they're paying more for supplies like net wrapping, fertilizer, and everything else.
We do a lot of baleage for general public and then a lot for ourselves. When we first started that, I think it was 2017, the wrap that we put on the baleage was like $85 a box. Do about 30 rolls with that. That has not changed, except now the price is $130 a box. So you've almost doubled the price of the input there alone. The net wrap is gone sky high, and then fertilizer prices on top of that. And of course, the fertilizer is based off of petroleum cost anyway. Last year, $400 a ton. This year, $900 a ton. Yeah, the inputs are just eating us alive.
According to Marks, in order to meet their bottom line, they've had to increase their prices, but says the harsh reality is that with prices the way they are, it just hurts those next down the line.
Yeah, we can raise our prices on the products we're selling and the work we're doing, but it's twofold. Not only are we trying to make a living, but the people we're doing the work for is trying to make a living. All right, so when you've got a small beef cattle herd, 50, 60 cows, and you're doing everything you can to make a profit with them, and your input on your hay, whether it's from us coming in, and 2 years ago we were at $24 a bale. Come in and custom cut, rate, bale your dry hay. We're at $35 now. But those are the people that it's going to hurt as bad as it does us.
Reporting in New Bern for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
After the break, it's off to Florida for some sun, some fun, and some one-on-one time with the people who help keep those store shelves stocked and the people of Georgia fed.
My name is Tom Ingram. I live in Terrell County. Our farm name is Montanella Farm. We grow cotton and peanuts. My mama grew up in a farming family, and all of the uncles, all of my uncles were farmers up in Sumter County, and they grew up farming, and I guess that's where I got it from, just a love of farming. I guess it's just in my blood. Used to, when you'd come through town when I was a little boy, when we had the big peanut plant, you could exactly tell when we had peanuts coming in, because the whole town smelled like freshly dug peanut fields. It's a challenge every year, and this crop is, it's just like a child. It's different from last year's crop, so you have to treat it differently from year to year. My advice to young farmers that are coming up would be, don't try to jump in it too big. start out small and add. The uncertainty is the biggest thing because, I mean, yeah, you can look at the boards and see what prices are doing, but everything is so up and down, like fuel and fertilizer, and you don't ever know what you're gonna have from one year to the next. You have high fuel prices. You've got fertilizer prices that have gone up tremendously. Chemical prices, the whole package has gone up, and when you try to sit down and plan at the beginning of the year, you don't know. Prices on most of that stuff change daily, so it's hard for you to plan.
Like Georgia's farmers, the Georgia food industry is also feeling the effects of our current economy, not to mention competition from online retailers. That's why the Georgia Food Industry Association plays such a vital role in providing resources for both grocers and consumers, and to a certain degree, Georgia's farmers. Well, recently, Kenny B and I were special guests at the GFI Conference in Orlando, and what we learned is this: farmers and grocers can turn to each other during these uncertain times. And the many challenges they're both facing, well, they are not going away anytime soon. As far as locations go, you could not have asked for a better setting. And for those who made the trip to Orlando, they were no doubt in it to win it, and happier than pigs in, well, you know. Actually, the Piggly Wiggly mascot near and dear to this man's heart, Tom Kugel, who owns 7 Piggly Wigglies in South Georgia, as well as a Striplings. Tom is a regular at the GFIA conference and someone who sees the event as very beneficial towards the success of his operation.
Access to your peers so that you can ask questions. You know, it's not an easy business. It's a very tight margin business, and there are efficiencies that, you know, folks have figured out, you know, and this is a place where we put aside competition and have a chance to stand side by side, even with some of the larger chains. And you get little tidbits, you know, that we take back to your company and help you.
I still think our future is going to be more closely tied to those folks that are putting value to our products, or how do we glean some ideas from a gathering like this where there's more of us that come together, whether from a cooperative or a stock company, to actually produce a product that some of these distributors would actually buy.
Well, of course, the farm is where it starts, and we're so fortunate to have such a great agricultural industry in our state. It's our biggest industry. And various issues were discussed today legislatively about things such as food safety and the criticality of that. And it's something that we need to think about. It caused me pause to think that perhaps we're having fentanyl smuggled into the country and loads of watermelons or whatever it may be. And obviously that needs to be looked at and viewed closely.
Food security, always a top priority for Georgia Farm Bureau President Tom McCall. Like the Farm Monitor, President McCall, a special invite at this year's conference and a panel member at the second of 2 legislative breakfasts. A farmer himself, President McCall's message to his peers: work together and build partnerships with the Georgia food industry.
What they sell or what we grow. And they can't be in business without us, and we couldn't be in business without them. So I think a correlation between Georgia Farm Bureau and the Georgia food industry is a big deal. And I hope we can grow that relationship. And matter of fact, like I told them, I hope all of them will become Georgia Farm Bureau members to help us help them.
President McCall, though, not the only Georgia farmer in attendance at this year's conference. Another huge advocate for agriculture, State Senator Russ Goodman from Homerville. As part owner of the Great American Cobbler Company, Senator Goodman says the lessons learned at this conference and the exposure are invaluable.
You know, this conference is just great. I love this conference. Kathy Cassava is the director of the Georgia Food Industry Association, and she and her husband Al are very good friends of mine. And, you know, she does a great job representing the grocery stores across the state and representing the grocery industry. And it's just so vitally important that we do support our American farmers, that we support Georgia farmers, and that we keep them in business. And it's not only about, you know, our food security, but it's also about those rural communities all across the country that those farmers support, because it's an indisputable fact that the American family farm is the economic engine of rural America.
Economics, another focal point of the convention, and if there's one thing that can quickly spoil the positive vibes at a gathering like this, it's talk of a struggling economy. John Dunham, a guest speaker and financial expert, pointed to a couple of things. The labor force, he says, is shrinking and will continue to shrink over the next few years. Inflation? It's going to last for a while, says Dunham. These factors and more leading to what he called a period of stagflation.
I think your balance sheet matters a lot, right? Right now is a good time to really strengthen one's balance sheet and prepare. You know, interest rates are still negative, so it's, you know, take advantage of that.
And lastly, be purpose-driven. Advice from former Georgia State Representative Stephanie Stuckey, who in 2019 purchased the fledgling Stuckey's Corporation, the iconic roadside stop her grandfather founded in 1937 and famous for its pecan log rolls and souvenirs.
I drew on my grandfather's background, and he used to always say, every traveler is a friend. So that defines our purpose. Everyone who comes in contact with Stuckey's, whether it's going into a licensed location, eating a pecan log roll, or picking up one of our pecan snacks on your grocery aisle, I want them to get a sense that they are a friend of ours. So every traveler through life, you are a friend of Stuckey's.
Really good conference. Huge thanks to the GFIA for inviting Kenny and I. But we're not done just yet. After the break, more fun from Orlando, including one of the most intense competitions you have ever seen and the incredible prizes one gets for winning the overall title.
Hi, my name is Willie Scott from Collins, Georgia. Just like to introduce myself. This cotton on this field is looking pretty good considering the hot and dry weather we've been having, but we've been getting some timely good rain, and so this cotton is looking real good. Considering the hot weather, we've been getting an inch of rain, then 2 or 3 weeks later we get another inch or two. I think last Friday the field received about 2 inches of rain. But prior to that, it was about 2 weeks since the last rain. And but the cotton has been kind of still holding on considering the hot and dry conditions it's been going through. And so with the varieties we picked out, it's been holding on with the stress it's been going through with the hot and dry weather. So we have sandy soil down here, and so we have to do the deep tillage subsoiling to try to preserve the moisture and everything, and you can see it with the hot weather it's holding on well with our farm practice that we do. Yes, looking at the market and the high commodity price, the high input costs, now you're looking at the market and it's starting to drop, and it kind of starting to make you sweat. You know, you're dealing with the hot weather, dry conditions, and now looking at the market prices drop with the input cost is high, and it's just a challenge this year. It's just a real big challenge. So far, we haven't had any other kind of disease or any kind of problems with the crop. So far, we've been monitoring and scouting it and all, and everything looking pretty good this year so far. So on this field here, we pretty much getting ready to start with the application of picks to keep it from growing too tall. And then as well in it, look for any white flies. We got the University of Georgia doing some tests out here to kind of see of any other kind of treatment we need to do to it before we do our defoliation. And but right now this crop is looking real good, and we're just going to continue to monitor it to see what other kind of practice we need to do so we can reap a good crop off of it.
Well, Tucker, Georgia, you should be extremely proud. Your very own Brennan Davenport from Tucker High School and Public Supermarkets took home the title of Best Bagger at this year's Georgia Food Industry Association Conference. His incredible speed, though, just one of the deciding factors. Judges were also looking for proper bag building technique, weight distribution between bags, also style, attitude, and appearance. In addition to receiving a $2,000 scholarship from the Georgia Food Industry Education Foundation, Brennan also earned a trip to Las Vegas in February to compete in the National Best Bagger competition. Good for him. So what exactly is the Georgia Food Industry Association? And of all the challenges grocers are now presented with, what stands out above the rest? Is it supply chain issues, distribution, a shrinking workforce maybe? All legitimate questions and topics that were discussed when Kenny Burgamy sat down in Orlando with GFIA President Kathy Kazava.
So a lot of folks watching our program are ag producers, farmers, folks connected to the ag industry. They may not know what GFIA is. So tell us what the organization is and how does it, in a maybe strange way, benefit producers in the state?
Sure. The Georgia Food Industry Association was started in 1912 by a group of independent retailers, and what we're all about is just representing the supermarket industry. And of course, that involves everybody from the supermarkets to the people who produce the food to the people who grow the food, and we have a symbiotic relationship in helping our customers get food to the stores.
Since the start of the pandemic, supply chain issues, it's been a major problem across the country at seaports and because of trucking shortages. How has that impacted Georgia grocers?
So every day it's like a new challenge. You unload the truck and there's something new that we're out of. And it's very frustrating because, again, the retailers want to service their customers. The customers expect our shelves to be full. And unfortunately, since the pandemic, that is just not the case. So we're very frustrated at the lack of being able to service our customers with 100% full shelves. However, it's given a lot of the suppliers a new avenue because retailers are looking for new suppliers to come into their store. So it has given a chance for some farmers, some producers that weren't ordinarily in their stores to provide product for the stores because, again, we're here to make sure that the customers can get selection.
So where does the Food Industry Association go from here? What's next for Georgia grocers?
Well, we're for sure going to do more delivery. I think the consumers are interested in more options, but you know, the bottom line brick and mortar store is always going to be around. Some people just really like touching that produce. They like looking at the beautiful colors. They like walking through the department and being able to squeeze their produce and decide what's ripe and what's not. So I do think there's going to be increased delivery. There's no question. The pandemic certainly brought that to our attention and how quickly we had an increase in not only curbside but delivery, but I do think there always is going to be that brick and mortar store. Some people really like to shop and they like to see their product, and our produce departments are the most wonderful chance for the customer to get to come in and see the vibrancy and the colors, and that's a showcase in our stores.
One final question. Is the greatest need right now for grocers, is it the labor force or is it more the product on the shelves? What is the greatest need when it comes to the grocery stores today?
Wow, that's pretty much a toss-up. I think our labor shortage is experienced across the board. I mean, everybody's having challenges with truckers. Everybody's having challenges with increase in container costs, with gas costs. I mean, so everything is costing us more, and it's just hard to find people. It's hard to find everybody from people who want to stock the shelves, to drive the trucks, to cut the meat. So that is a huge challenge. And I don't know that that's going to change, to be honest with you. So I think we're going to have to start meeting the workforce where it is, and we're going to have to find new ways to celebrate our employees and to really explain to them what kind of options there are, career options in the supermarket industry. We also are still very concerned about the challenges in keeping our stores stocked, and we still have areas, again, that we're finding companies that just can't satisfy the demands. One of the biggest issues that we've had is the baby formula shortage, and that was a very serious shortage. And so when it comes to food safety, we need to make sure our products are safe, of course. We also need to make sure our shelves are full. So those are both challenges to us.
Kathy, thanks so much. Before we go, quick reminder to check out all of our social media platforms, including farm-monitor.com. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Stay safe. Have a great week.